Minister, at some indeterminate point last week, it became clear that the government were spinning their wheels on what was supposed to be an open and inclusive consultation on the various documents. For me, it was clear during the Health Committee last week that the government were just stalling for time. Were just playing us out. It was like the end of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. It was like Mr. Donnelly comes to committee and comes to briefings and comes to the Dáil and just talks the clock down, talks the days down until this moment. And we wonder why people feel so cynical about politics and politicians. And this has been thrown across the floor from opposition to government and government to opposition. But for me, over the last number of months, who is sitting on the Business Committee and has seen multiple attempts to block statements and debate on this for the last number of months, that we had to come up with a very special arrangement for a Thursday sitting a few weeks ago. At that special arrangement, the Minister said, we will, when the documents are released, when the lease is ready, we will have a full debate. Then 2 weeks ago, marched into Cabinet, we're going to push this through. It was stopped, say, right, we'll give it a couple of weeks and we'll have an open debate. And that didn't really happen. We had chats, but we definitely didn't have, the debate certainly wasn't open. We saw it at committee. As I say, we saw it over the previous months at the Business Committee. We're seeing it now in terms of the fact that this is not going to be opposed, that there will be no vote on this. And to even extend the cynicism, what we saw on social media a couple of hours ago was Minister Donnelly have a video extolling the virtues of this deal that was retweeted 200 odd times in the space of a couple of minutes by what looked like robo accounts or bot accounts. You know, I mean, this is crazy stuff. And why did that happen? Because the Minister and the government know that they don't have the support of the women of Ireland and the people of Ireland on this issue. They just do not have it. And the cast thing is, no one will be looking one way or another how many tweets a tweet gets, but it just shows you the insecurity that the government has in relation to their stand on this. And for us, we are very clear in our position and have been for a number of years now in terms of the CPO and our desire to see the land CPO'd. We asked how many of the 3 ministers that were in power asked for the advice of the Attorney-General on that. We did not get a clear answer. Minister Donnelly said that he sought advice of the Attorney-General. We did not get any indication as to what that advice actually said, never mind what the previous 2 ministers asked from their various Attorneys-General. And we still have, despite all the talk that has taken place in this chamber and in committee and elsewhere over the last number of weeks and months, we in the Labour Party still have massive concerns about the ownership, control and governance of the new National Maternity Hospital. And we're not the only ones, and we're not the only ones in this House, and we're not the only ones in politics. We know across the legal profession and across the clinical profession. We have Dr. Chris Fitzpatrick now of the CUM came out in the last couple of days who said that he felt that clinicians won't have the necessary guarantees that they would be able to carry out the various procedures that are legally permissible in this state. That's where we are. So where are we now? What can we? It's gone through Cabinet. The Minister said that the design is done and going to push through to procurement. So here's where we are. We have an imperfect ownership situation. That's no matter what way the government try and dress it up, it is not perfect. In the words of the Taoiseach, before he was Taoiseach, where he said he wanted fully public ownership land, we do not have that. That's a fact. We do not have it. We have the 300-year lease. That is imperfect. And we have the golden share model, which means that from this day, 300 years into the future, every woman in Ireland will hope, one, that the incumbent Minister for Health is pro-choice, and that two, that minister, that he or she will never have to use their golden share. That's where we're at. And if anyone thinks that that's a perfect model, if anyone thinks that that's something that should ever be used again or should ever be used now, then they're living in fantasy land. Because that's where we're at. imperfect ownership, and a model that means that every woman in Ireland will have that in their stomach in terms of concern and worry that this golden share will have to be used. And we only have to look at the United States in the last couple of weeks to see how the situation can change in a matter of moments.